right, guys, we're going to put the floorboards back on. Now, I bought the fringe for the floorboards, for the passenger floorboards. I want to give a shout out to Lutzleather. They're located here in Pennsylvania. This is 8-inch. Now, they come with holes pre-cut in them. These are not lining up for the passengers. So I'm going to have to, here, let me see if I can get these on. I'll show you guys exactly what I'm talking about here. All right, we got that one on, lined up. So anyway, okay, they're lined up now. I have the leather on backwards too. The shiny side should be facing. Oh no, wait a minute. I got them on right that time. See how that's overlapping? So we're gonna have to make new holes. The front, when I got the front ones lined up perfectly. But see, they misaligned the holes. So we're gonna have to cut new holes, and then we're gonna probably have to trim out for these lugs here. I think what they did is when they cut the holes, they lined it up with the bracket because that's right around where the holes are. I think that's what they did. Where the heck are the holes at? Yeah, see, that's what they did. So the holes are going to have to go back more. So what we could do is we're putting this material on this side here. Then with my finger, I'm going to press where the holes are. That should make an indentation in the leather. So what I want is I want these to go all the way back like that. So in other words, then this is the front here. Here, let me put these on. I'll show you guys how I want them. That's how I want them. I want them where the end of the top material that's stitched onto the fringe is just going to the edge of the floorboard. That's how I want these. So in other words, then, this side of the material, it should just be hugging the edge of the back of the floorboard. That's perfect, just like that. That's how I want them. All right, well, I tried to make an indentation with my fingers, and it's not working. So what I'm going to have to do, guys, is I'm going to have to get my yardstick and measure. You know, I'm putting the floorboards on because I want to have the passenger seat back on. I've found that it's more comfortable for me to have that passenger seat on because my back goes against the passenger seat and it gives me more confidence when I'm on the motorcycle. So, all right. Get that little, holy crap, is that cement on good. Look at that. That's towel cement, guys. Oh my God. All right, we're gonna have to, let me see if I get that off with a pair of scissors. There we go. Okay. Right to the back of that edge right there to the hole. And let me get it. I'm going to do it on the one mark. Okay, what do we have in here? I'd say that's 3 7/8. Right? That's 3 7/8. Or it's actually 2 7/8. That's actually what it is. It's 2 7/8 to the center of the holes. Okay, I got my trusty hole maker. And got my carpenter's pencil. Yeah, see, they have the holes at 2 1/8. They should be at 2 7/8. Okay, that's close enough. Got my big end there. I may have to do this with a torch. I don't think this is going to make it. No, that's not going to make it. I have to burn the holes with a torch, guys. What we're going to do is we're going to heat the end of this Phillips, with my torch. Nothing easy, guys. It's the story of my life, man. I have to work for everything. You know that? I don't get nothing free. Heck of a torch, guys. You don't have one of these, man, you got to buy one. And make sure you get the yellow tank, too. All right. See if I can do this without burning my finger. Okay. All right. Hole needs to be a little bit bigger. I don't think I have anything that size either. So, yeah, I don't think I have anything that size. I'm going to have to get it a little bit larger, guys. Let me give you guys a pause. I have to try to find something. All right, I found something that's going to work. So, let's try this. I didn't want to use, I have a little stubby. I didn't want to use that because then it would melt, it would have melted inside the screwdriver. The tip would have melted off. So that's why I'm using this instead. Getting red now. All right, that should work. Damn you. Can't believe this thing come off, guys. I almost burned my hand. No pain, no gain, as they say, right? All right, that'll work. Now we're going to also have to cut off of these lugs. So you want the finished side facing up. Okay, the unfinished side should be facing down. So let's see if we can get these on in my new holes. Okay, what we're going to have to do is push these all the way down. Where is my, I must have that in my other drawer. I was looking for one of my picks. Yeah, these holes are a lot smaller than the other ones. But see, that's a lot better like that. That's a lot better like that. Darn. Hold on. Guys, I gotta give you a pause. I have my tool I want to use in my top drawer. All right. This will allow me to push this thing down a little bit. Because what you want to do is you want to get it far down. That way there's not going to be any wrinkles. Like I said, they didn't mess up on the front ones, but for some reason they messed up on the back ones. I don't know, maybe they were high when they did it. But they make good products, guys. Okay, see, that's how you want it. That's how you want that. And this is leather. They they actually don't charge what they should charge for these things. They have pretty fair prices over there at Lutzleather. Yeah, I didn't make this one as thick as I should have, but it's coming. There we go. We got it done now. All right, there. That's what I wanted. See, so I mean, you know what? The back ones aren't actually the proper size, but good enough. It's good enough. I can live with that. You know what? I hope these are going to work. I hope these guys are going to work. Because these lugs on the side, I mean, I can't cut. I might have to cut some of the fringe off, guys. And these are made for this floorboard. And it's not, it doesn't seem like it's going to work out. Oh man, my sniffles are starting already. I'll bet you I'm going to have to cut. I'm going to have to cut that off in order for this floorboard to fit. Okay, what do we got to go in there? About a 1/2 inch. Okay, that'll work. Yeah, I'll bet you I'm going to have to cut a little bit of the fringe off. See, that should, I mean, I'm not putting these on wrong, right? Because they have to go on like that. Let's give it a trial run here. Yeah, they're not fitting like I hoped. Yeah, I'm going to have to cut the fringe on the corners as well. Because you see how it's getting in the way there? It's not allowing the floorboards to pop in. I wonder if I wet these down. Now you see how the front's showing a little bit? Maybe what I should do is bring those holes back a little more, guys. I think that's what I'm going to have to do. Bring them back a little bit more. So then none of that seam shows. Man, I hope I didn't mess up. Oh my. All right, let's give that a shot. I mean, I can always glue these in if I have to. If I messed up, I can always glue them down somehow, so then they won't move. So what we're going to have to do, put that like that. That's got to go all the way back. So instead of going to the edge of the back of that floorboard, you got to go to the exact back of the floorboard. You know what? Maybe I could pull these. Let's try. Here, let's try cutting them. We got to go back about a 1/4 inch, right? Look at this, I'm shaking. I'm shaking, guys. See, my problem, guys, is I'm underconfident, man. It goes back a long way with me. Oh, come on, you. I'm trying not to snip my skin. All right. Oh, man. Riding season, guys. I hope there's one more day, man. Because it is getting cold. Okay. Let's trim that a little bit. Wipe the snot off my hand. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to wet this leather under my sink. Because these side lugs, see, then there's little holes where those lugs got to pop in. That might be a problem. Might be a problem, guys. Now, anybody else, I think they would have probably returned these, but I'm not going to return them. I'm going to make them work. I wonder if I should cut that. I think I'm gonna cut on the side here. Okay. All right, let me go wet this leather. Okay, I wetted the leather. What I did is I saturated it. Now, like I said, the finished side up. Now, probably Lutz's leather, they're probably going to be looking at this video. They're probably saying, that ain't never going to work. Yes, it will. Where there's a will, there's a way, brother. It will work. Because I ain't going to give up on it. This is why Harleys are so expensive. This thing probably weighs about 5, maybe 6, 7 pounds. That's why Harley Davidsons cost so much money because they put a lot of material, man. You know, let's wet these a little with some spit. Where the heck's the little nubbies at? There we go. Now we got one lined up. All right, let's pull one through. He's semi in. Okay, got the other one in. That one's semi in. See, that's a lot better like that. Matter of fact, maybe I could even tuck that in more. I could pull it. Oh, my nose, my nose. Okay. Get that rear lug in. Come on, you bastards. Where is the lug at? Yeah, I'm having a problem with the side lugs, guys. Here, let's pull that fringe away a little bit. Ah. Okay. We got that. Can't see it, but it's in this one here. Okay. He popped in as well. Okay. It's a lot better. There. Now those are pulled. See how they're pulled in compared to this one? This one's in. This needs to be pulled. There we go. Okay. Let's adjust our fringe a little bit. Can you imagine doing this like at Sturgis for somebody and having people watch you? That's why, guys, I could never be a mechanic. I could never work in a shop because you're on a time limit. Okay, we're cool. All right, this is good. When they're up, it'll look like that against the bike. Now I got to do the other one. The other one I'm not going to mess up on. This is the left side. Take a little bit of saliva, put it on these things. What we're going to do is we're going to use my pick. We're going to push these through a little bit at the same time I'm pulling. Okay. Got that one out. Pop that side out a little bit. There we go. Okay, now so instead of 2 7/8, it has to be 3 inches. Okay, where is my pencil? Where's all this filth coming from? Okay. Boy, I tell you, I can't even see it on there. Let's mark on the finished side. Okay. I can barely see this. And I have a white marker too, guys. All right, I think that's good. All right, where is my Phillips that I used before? I want to make a hole with the Phillips first. See if I can do this without burning my hand. I barely see that. No, not hot enough anymore. I'll tell you what we're going to do. I'm going to cut this. Where the heck are my scissors at now? You know, you put things down and they disappear right in front of your eyes, guys. That should work. And that should work. All right, that's perfect actually. Look at that. I made perfect holes. Okay. Ah, thank you. That felt nice. Boy, right against my leg I did it. That felt fabulous. Trying to save the fringe from dropping, I punched myself right in the leg with the metal. Oh, that felt nice. I need to do that again. See, what I need, guys, is a workbench. That's what I need. But I don't have the time when everything else is dumped on you. I don't have the time to do anything. Okay. First, we're going to cut this side. we go. Now, since that's how we want it, it should go in with no trouble. Where's my little tool? Of course, that vanished as well. Okay, this is going in a lot better because we learned from the other one. Just like I learned on the big dog. Here, when it wasn't starting, I thought that maybe a tappet froze up. Meanwhile, it wasn't starting because I wasn't getting the proper charge to the coil because my stator was gone. By the way, they sold that motorcycle. Someone bought it. They paid $12,000 for it. So let's figure it out. That motorcycle was originally sold for, I think it was $37,000. Okay. I paid I think I paid $11,500 for it. Okay. 37,000 plus 11,500, and now it's sold for $12,000. 37, 47, 48,000, 58,000, $60,000, $500. That motorcycle made. Not to mention all the parts I put in it, and the guy before me, he had the electronics box custom made. Because there's no other big dog that I've seen. And I searched, guys, all over the internet. And that is the only big dog that has that custom electronics box made. That's why I figured out that guy had that custom made. Because the guy that owned that before me was probably an ink sucker, a pen pusher, in other words, commonly referred to as an office worker. Or maybe he was retired. So it probably vibrated and fell. The original one probably vibrated and fell off along with the horn. And so he probably had, because he had a lot of money. And so he probably had that custom made, which they did a heck of a job custom making it. They did a heck of a job on that because that was stainless steel. All right, where is my footrest? What did I do? Here it is. Okay, I got these on. You know what? Maybe I don't have to. Maybe I won't have to. I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to cut. We're going to cut this with a scissor. So then that'll fold easier. Or you know what? Instead of a scissor, I'll use these. Okay. So he'll probably look on YouTube and see his motorcycle on YouTube. I almost messed up again. And he'll say, hey, that looks like my motorcycle I just bought. That guy must be the original guy that owned it. Okay, those are in. As you see, we got to pull that back, just like with the other one. So what we're going to do is we're going to push this in, guys. Yeah, that hurt when I hit myself with this thing. That hurt. That hurt. Okay, I think we're cool. Push you away from the nubby. Okay, I think we got it. All right, that's in. So if you're putting these in, just pull the fringe away from that little nubby because it's got to go in this hole. Well, where Harry goes? He's in. Make sure they're all pushed in. Everything's in. We'll adjust our fringe a little bit. Okay. There you go. We didn't have to cut nothing. Now, I've got to put these on the mic, guys. And I don't remember how they go on. So we're going to have to live and learn. By the way, I got my flu shot. I started getting sick there for a minute last week. I think it was because of the flu shot. Yeah. I think it was because of the flu shot. You know, another thing, guys, I get one hair that grows on the tip of my nose. One hair. Every once in a while, I got to shave it off. Imagine if I didn't shave it off. The hair would probably be like this long by now. Guys, I can't wait till I retire, man. You know, I used to be terrified. When people get older, they get terrified to retire. The driving or trying to get home here is so bad. It is just so bad. I can't wait till I retire. Hopefully we can move up to Tynesta or close to Tynesta. I like Tynesta. Tynesta is a slow little town. You know, when I say slow, I don't mean in a bad way. It's life goes slow there. It's an easygoing little town. There's nothing there. You know, if you don't like the sticks, don't go there. You have to like nature to go there. You have to really like the outdoors to live there. It's affordable living, but you know, when you go up there, you're on your own, baby. You are on your own. There's nothing close, including a hospital. So, all right, let's see if we can get these on. I used to work for the city of Pittsburgh in the early 80s, guys. I worked for the public works. You know, we did whatever was necessary. We put barricades up for parades. We cleaned sewers. We cleaned roads. We cut down weeds, salted the roads. But to make a long story short, whenever the trucks need fixed, we had to go down to the mechanic garage. Hey, I just noticed I have another concho came off. I just noticed that. Well, I have plenty of them. I'll put that on. Because I have to take the seat off, put the luggage rack back on too. So one of the mechanics, he left a snap-on in the truck. I took it. Okay. Snap-on. This is probably $30 for this. So if you're watching, if you wonder where that tool went, I got it. I stole it. It's mine now. Okay, guys, we got everything on. Yeah, and like if you notice with the front ones, see how that seam isn't tucked underneath there? I might wind up doing those over. I'll take them apart and pull those back a little bit. You know, I tell you the truth, I didn't notice that when I put those on. I don't know, maybe I was just excited to put them on. So we have the 8-inch ones on the front and 8-inch ones on the back. And we put our passenger seat back on and the luggage rack. Now, I have a new passenger seat coming in and a new backrest coming in. Neither one of them have studs on them. I'm going to leave them unstudded. You know, because all we're going to have then is that tank leather piece, the seat, and the saddlebags that are going to be double studded. I might put the chrome spots in place of the conchos, guys. I don't know. I'm undecided yet. I might do that. I might not. I'm undecided. You know, like these conchos here, I don't know why the background here isn't red. You can buy these with the see, it's like if you look, the background red on there. Now some models, these have, I think they have glass. They're plastic. They have red plastic in here. Now you could buy these like that, but they're very expensive. I think they're like $65 a set. They're really expensive. You know, and I'm not going to dump those in for that. I'm not going to even try to paint those either because it's not going to look good. Now, if I could take them off, which you know you can't take them off, I know how to get them off. Then I could probably match that. I could probably match that red background, but I don't know. I don't know if I want to go through all that, guys. So yeah, we have a new passenger seat coming in. It doesn't have these, and a new backrest. So now I have to throw my leg over the driver's seat in order to get on it, which, you know, it's okay like that. Because I'll tell you the truth, it's hard for me to get on either way because my back hurts and my legs hurt. So that's just as well like that. Guys, let me show you how I'm going to get on this. See, for me to throw my leg over, first of all, I can't throw it over the whole thing. Some people can't. I can't. If I put it over this, I'm going to get a Charlie horse. I guarantee you that. I'm going to get an excruciating Charlie horse in my hamstring. So what I'm going to have to do, let's move her up a little bit. Oh, she's heavy. She is heavy, guys. 800-pound bike, guys. See, now my back is touching the passenger seat, so I'm actually comfortable like this. This is actually comfortable for me. Okay, we got the kickstand down. Notice I'm holding my front brake, that way the motorcycle doesn't go anywhere. This is whenever I get off the motorcycle, or as soon as I get on it, whether it's, even if it's not started, the first thing I do is I grab this brake right here. Now, you know, that way there, it doesn't move. You might not be on a level when you mount or dismount the motorcycle. So what I'll do, now I'm getting off the motorcycle, I'll let go of that. And that's the only way for me to do it, guys. It's like if you're coming to a slow stop, you don't have, I wouldn't advise to use the back brake and the front brake. I would just use the front brake. When I say a slow stop, I mean like 5 or 10 miles an hour. Okay? Because if you're going that slow, if you're going like 5 miles an hour or like 7 or 8 miles an hour, you're going to need to be able to put your feet down as soon as you stop. So I would only like if you're in traffic, okay, and you're rubber banding at 5 miles an hour a little bit. I'd only use that front brake. But if you're coming from like 40 miles an hour or so on, or even 35 or 25, maybe not 25, maybe 35 and up, 35 miles per hour and up, use both brakes. And then when you start coming down to around 5 miles an hour, you can just use the front brake and come to your total stop. Because you have to be able to. It's almost like it's perfect. It's almost like perfect harmony when you have to put your legs down to the ground. Everything has to be synced perfectly. And new people, especially these new people, the new riders that have big bikes. You're talking about a bike that might be 800 pounds or maybe 900 pounds. I started out on a Yamaha Venture Royale that I think it was 700 pounds. That was my very first motorcycle. As a matter of fact, when I got on it and I went down my street, I almost ran right in my neighbor's car because I thought it was like a bicycle. I didn't know that you had to like push on the handlebars to the left or right to steer it. And I learned really fast, or I would have ran right into the back of my neighbor's car. And then my second bike was a Harley FL. That was 750 pounds. Might have even been 810 pounds, and that's without me on it. So but I think that's the best information you can go by. If you're going like 35 miles an hour and up and you're coming to a stop, use both brakes. And then as you're slowing down to 10 miles an hour and under, you can stop the bike with the front brake after that. And then be ready to put your legs down to the ground. So, all right, we got the fringe floorboards on. I think it looks nice like that. I really do. Here, let me give you guys a look from this side here. See, the way these go on, guys, I don't know if you can see them real good. Matter of fact, no, you can't see. Let me see if I get a light in here. I want to show you the hardware that puts that on. What I did with my Dremel, you see that piece of plastic there? I cut that out with my Dremel because, well, focus. There you go. That way there, that bolt's easier to get on and off. It's focusing on that. So I did that, and I made sure I didn't cut anything. Then you can see that L bracket. That's for the saddlebag. And what I had to do too is I had to take off the footrest. I had to take that off, and then that slides right out. And then you're able to get the bracket in. There's that Allen head bolt down in there. That's a big bolt. That gets your footrest bracket on. So there's a lot. There's quite a bit to putting these footrests on, guys. There's a lot of hardware goes into that. And they flip up too. I think you guys know that. They do flip up. But since I got the fringe on there, we're going to keep them flipped down. Yeah, but I did Dremel out that little piece of plastic in there. You know, otherwise you have to put that bolt on before you completely tighten up that big Allen head bolt in there. And I didn't use thread lock or anything because they have lock washers on them, including that acorn bolt there for the saddlebag bracket. They all have thread. They all have lock washers. I didn't use thread locker on them, guys. So yeah, the next thing we got to do is we got to change the oil in the transmission. We're going to do that this winter, like in December, maybe January. Change the oil in the transmission, the engine, and the primary. We're going to do all three of them. Broke my favorite coffee cup, guys. Like a moron, I sat it on top of this. When I turned, I knocked it over, went on the floor, broke. So I'm down a cup of coffee. So I'm going to probably sell the Harley, guys, once it's paid off. I mean, it all depends how things go. If I don't have to, I won't. But I can use the money to pay some bills off because when I retire, I can't have any credit card bills anymore. You know, the party's going to be over basically. And I'll be retiring at around the same time when the Harley's done being paid off and my Jeep's done. So the Harley will be paid off and the Jeep will be paid off at the same time I retire. So I can't have any bills, guys. You know, when we move out to the woods, you know, the parties. See, I have a theory, guys, about life. Okay, this is my theory. You know, a lot of people, they go to churches because they believe that's the house of God. I believe churches are a manifestation of modern man. I don't believe churches are the house of God. Okay, God is all around you. God's in everything. You see this keychain right here that I got hanged back up? You see this plastic here? The molecules that make up this plastic, all the energy in all the little electrons and atoms in this, that's all existence of God. The molecules and the electrons that make up the atoms that make up these molecules, all the energy that makes it up, that is a product of God. My skin, my shirt, everything has God in it. God's everywhere. So if we move out to the woods, we're going to have God all around us. And we're going to be hanging with nature, basically. Because that's all there is in my book. I enjoy that. That's what I like to do. You know, I don't like people. People have always stuck it to me. You know, I'm not going to even go into family because I don't have much family left anymore. My family right now is my wife and my dog, and that's it. And you know what? I'm okay with that. I really am. I'm okay with that. Because I have the bigger picture of God. I have a bigger picture of life. So, all right, guys. Oh yeah, by the way, I'm gonna try to get out. Man, my hand was itchy. Must be, you know what? It's so dry. I don't know if you can see all the dry skin on my nose here. It is so dry here because we haven't got any rain for like months. So I was saying there's going to be a sports car race over here in North Hills, over in North Park. I'm going to go to. It's sanctioned by the North Hills Sports Car Club. They have two more before the year is over. I missed. I was going to go out to the one last Sunday, and I just couldn't go. I was just so tired. The first cars go off at about 10:45, so I'm going to go there. I'm not going to stay there for the whole thing. I'm going to go there and try to get at least 5 cars, maybe 10 cars. They have like a little circuit in the parking lot that they race around. It's like a little road race they have there. What they do is they do time trials, 1 car at a time. They have hundreds of cones set out, and they make a course out of safety cones. And these guys have some nice cars, a lot of tuners, some sports cars, and I mean, some of them are really, they spend a lot of money in cars. I've seen some of the cars out there. So they basically go as fast as they can around this course. And you'll hear the tires screeching, so I'm going to try to get some of them. And that's Sunday. I'm going to try to make that on Sunday. I'll go out there maybe with the bike, maybe with the Jeep and the GoPro, and I'll get some videos of these cars doing the circuit. So okay, so a nice shout out to Lutzleather. I'm not going to leave a link for them because they've probably got enough business as it is, guys. I don't think they don't need me to sponsor them. They don't need any more business. But I'm happy with the fringe floorboard things. All right, have a good one.